welcome to English for Experience. I'm etetutor and this is our Christmas Carol quotation countdown to Christmas. So it's an opportunity for GCSE students or anybody who's studying the novel to analyse quotations, think about the language being used and think about the plot. We're doing the quotes in chronological order, so that's really helpful for your revision. So if you didn't see day 3, in day 3 we saw a lovely exchange between Fred and his Uncle Ebenezer, where Scrooge was extremely grumpy. And our quote for today comes just a little bit later after Fred has left. So when the clerk, so one of Scrooge's office workers, when he lets Fred out, he actually lets in 2 charity collectors. So as you can imagine, Scrooge is furious, absolutely furious. He refers to the clerk as a lunatic for letting them in. And then after that we get this quotation where we're seeing London for one of the first times within the novella. The ancient tower of a church, whose gruff bell was always peeping slyly down at Scrooge out of a Gothic window in the wall, became invisible and struck the hours and quarters in the clouds with tremulous vibrations afterwards, as if its teeth were chattering in its frozen head up there. Okay, so it's a little bit longer than the quotations that I would suggest you learn, but I've picked this because it's a really good example of a language device that Dickens has used. So can you work out what that is? What's going on here? We're getting a sense of personality come through from this inanimate object. So the tall church tower, and its clock face becomes like a human face. Its behaviour becomes human. It's peeping slyly at Scrooge. It's chattering its teeth. So there's the personification that you can think about here. But in terms of the novel as a whole, this happens in stave 1. So as readers, we're being introduced to the concept of time through this detailed description of the clock. And we're also being led to believe that the story might be quite dark in some ways, because the building is a piece of Gothic architecture which was known for being, you know, possibly a little bit spooky, a little bit sinister in some ways. So by introducing these ideas early on, we're seeing that there's going to be a lot to come in this story that focuses on the passing of time. And as you know, Scrooge becomes a bit of a time traveller, going back and forward, and he reflects on how he has spent his time, how he's spent his life. Okay, so hopefully that has helped a little bit. If you are enjoying these videos, please hit like. If you're watching at Christmas, and that's great, I know it's a lot more enjoyable that way, it might be worthwhile you having a look at the Analysing All Sorts Christmas collection if you are interested in learning how to analyse language in detail, how we've done here. Alright then, best of luck with the revision, and I will see you on day 5.